Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In today's video I will be testing the Rimac Concept S in multiplayer. If you haven't already watched the video I uploaded a few days ago on my channel where it's titled Every Ultimate AI, then please do check it out. There is a shortened version uploaded on the official Asphalt channel where I showcase the last 3 and the most difficult ultimate AIs, which I beat them at a very low tuning. My tuning for this car is at 05055050, which puts it at a rank of 1656, suited for multiplayer. However, it is very difficult to win the R&D at that rank. The last ultimate AI is extremely difficult and it took me quite a number of attempts to beat it. Therefore, most of you that will win the R&D of this car will have it at a higher rank, or if you are still playing through, then I suggest the tuning that I have it at is a great base, but also tune the acceleration to a maximum level of 3, but if you need to, maybe to 5, and I advise you to use an extra tank as well. This way it will be slightly easier. Now let's talk about the rank I have it at, again, which is at 1656. At this rank, I expected the cars I would come across would be the Apollo Intensa Emotions, of course, as everyone will be using that, but also some other multiplayer cars such as the BMW Special Edition. What I did not know is how the car would perform against them. As you can see in this video, there is an Apollo Intensa that is right at the front, and because of the rank he is at, this car stands no chance because that car is just extremely fast. Therefore, going up against Apollo Intensa Emotions would not be that great for this car. However, I will say that even though I wrecked, I still managed to catch up the rest of the opponents fairly quickly, and even though it is still a 1-lap race, you will see that I still managed to beat these 2 other races, but that's because the cars they are using are no match for this car. However, I cannot use simply just this race to base if this car is great or not. You will see in the other races I have, it's a tight match between the other Apollo Intensas where I'm really trying my best, but we will get to that later on. So to conclude on the rank of this car, a maximum level of anything under 1680 or 1690 would be suggested. If you are reaching towards or over the 1700 mark, then if you're using this car in multiplayer would not be that great, as you will be against a very difficult competition. Most of the cars that you will go up against will be Apollo Intensas, and you are very likely to lose, as that car is just simply too fast and this car cannot compete with it. The next thing we will talk about is the handling of this car. Now, the handling of this car, through my experiences in the R&D races and these multiplayer races that I have recorded, is not something that I would say which is fairly good. You will see on this turn over here, I have to micro drift first before I change into a long drift. This is because the handling of this car, yes, it has not been tuned, but I believe that even though tuning the car's handling will not make that much of a difference. The car seems to be very stiff when handling around corners, and drifting is very difficult. So therefore, when you come across larger curves, then I suggest you start your drift slightly early if you are going to use this car in multiplayer. You will see over here, I take the corner slightly late, and you will see that I go very wide. Normally with most other cars, if the handling is not that great, then micro drifting is something that most people do to compensate for the terrible drifting. However, with this car, I cannot say it has the same effect. You will see in the race in Venice where I play, I try and micro drift the corners, and even then that does not make a difference. Even though I will be pointing out some of the handling aspects in the other races, I will give the summary for this car's handling a rating of 2 or 2.5 out of 5. But please remember that this is only because I have not tuned the handling for this car at all, and therefore I do not know whether this handling would be improved if there were upgrades added to the car. Now, for this current race that you are watching on Nevada Reverse, I go up against a BMW M2 Special Edition who is at a rank of 1657, just 1 higher than mine, but as you can clearly see, I am very far ahead, and I do not know if this is because the driver was not skilled enough or if this car was simply just too fast, but I will go with the latter because this car seems to be pulling ahead and the opponents do not seem to be catching up. You will see at the end of the race, I wait because I am free racing to allow the other races to pass, but you will see how long I have to wait before the races cross the finish line. So I will let you watch the rest of this race and continue speaking when the next race starts. Now the next thing to talk about is this car's top speed. This car does have fake speed. It is not going as fast as it says it is on the speedometer, because if it was, then it would definitely rival the Apollo Intensa Emotions, the Aston Martin Vulcan, and any other top S-Class car that it would come across. However, like always, top speed is something you always want to tune first. This will give you the biggest advantage when it comes to the car's performance, but also the ranking as well, because when you tune top speed and nitro, this gives the rank of your car a very high boost. If I was to give this car a score out of 5 for its top speed, bearing in mind the competition that it comes up against and the performance going up against all the range of cars, then I would definitely give it a 3.5 or maybe 4 out of 5. Naturally, alongside the top speed, the nitro has to be mentioned, so let's talk about the nitro duration of this car. Now, originally it would seem that the car's nitro duration seems to be pretty good, but I would say that after having a lot of races, racing with single tank seems to be pretty challenging. For some reason, I don't know why, but the nitro duration seems to run out pretty fast. Even though it seems that the nitro duration of this car should be good, for me it seems that I run out of nitro faster than I supposedly should. And as you can see on this turn over here, even though I micro drift twice, I still managed to go pretty wide. So therefore I will emphasize that the handling of this car is not that great. And you will see on the final curve over here, even though I try and manage to do what I can, the handling of this car does not seem to cope well with corners. However, to conclude on this car's nitro duration, I will give it the same score that I gave for the top speed. So that would be either 3.5 out of 5. Now let's skip to the final race. The last thing to talk about is the car's acceleration. Now again, bear in mind the same with the handling, I have not upgraded the acceleration section of this car at all. Therefore, the acceleration of this car does not seem to be pretty well. You will see at the start of races, for the car to reach maximum top speed takes quite a bit of time. The other cars that I go up against go by very quickly. And if you put it together with the terrible handling around corners, one where you will lose a great amount of speed because the handling isn't that great, and then to accelerate to gain back your speed, both of that is not a great combination. Therefore, hand in hand with the handling, the acceleration of this car gets the same score of 2.5 or 3 out of 5. Bear in mind again that this is only because based on its tuning. So to summarize everything and answer the question where this car is good for multiplayer, the answer would be yes and no at the same time. So let me explain very quickly. This car would be great for multiplayer if it's tuned correctly. However, you have to make sure that you win the R&D at a very low rank, which is not possible. Therefore, to put this car into a category of a multiplayer car does not seem suitable, as to win the R&D at that rank does not seem likely. And on the other hand, when you tune the car excessively and it crosses the rank of almost 1700, then you will go up against competition that you will not stand a chance against. The cars will be simply just too fast and this car will not be able to compete. However, because of the rank it is and the range of tunings that people have for their cars in multiplayer, if you get lucky and come across a good lobby, then yes, this car will perform well. Therefore, to give this car a score out of 5 as a multiplayer car, I would have to say it's 2.5 or 3, simply based on its R&D event and also the performance I have experienced in these multiplayer races. So I hope you enjoyed my commentary. Let me know if this was a good analysis of this car. If you want to see more multiplayer races with this car, then please just leave a comment down below. Take care and I will speak to you later. Bye.
Put the place up, yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo, I'm a chaser. Face up, now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye, ego, I'm a taker, shaker. Yeah, she was a born shaker. She shake me out that door to no place. Damn, why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife, but you stabbed me in the back. Something like a rose when we came out there. We settle facts like Da Vinci. I'm breaking codes, so breaking backs, come on.